So if you're like me and are missing Delicious in Dungeon, one of the best anime in the past 5 years, if I'm being honest, you're looking for more dungeon crawling adventures. And I think that the big reason why a show like Delicious in Dungeon felt so special was it wasn't simply just a dungeon crawling, it had a twist, it had the food gimmick, and then it got more emotional and dark, and it was just such a great experience. You might want to check out Dungeon People. First episode just dropped. It's not a complete replacement, but it does hit that creative vibe of a twist on the dungeon formula. And honestly, the second half of the episode I didn't see coming. The first half of the episode, I mean, way better than I was expecting. When I see this very simplistic art style, I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty chill, like just kind of simple, just going through a dungeon. I didn't read the synopsis, I just watched a preview, to be honest. And to just see decapitation from this character Clay, who she's trying to find her father, right? You know, father went into a dungeon, never made it back for 3 years. Okay, I see where you're going. It's gonna be simple fun. Second half comes in, wall gets broke. It's like, why is there a bedroom there? And the Minotaur we're trying to fight's like, oh shit. I swear, hey, can we just stop fighting? And I'm like, okay. Turns out, dungeon crawling is a lot different than it's not just like random dungeons pop up. There's a manager. There's someone who manipulates the dungeon, and Belle, who we get introduced to, recruits us. Basically, the idea of this show is that we go from a thievery guild, locating our father, to now we work for the dungeon manager, and we're going to help her manage. So we gotta interview monsters, we gotta set up the traps, we have to talk to the monsters, and it's like, you know what? While definitely this show and Delicious in Dungeon are two completely different dungeon crawling adventures, both of those shows, I really feel like did something interesting with its initial establishing episode. And boy golly, am I gonna be here for episode 2. Full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to any of these episodes, it's gonna be over there exclusively. First things first, love the look of this show. Simplistic charm, but works so well. The initial shot, when we kickstart this episode, there's this two-headed beast that we're fighting, and I love just the little details of how the heads get themselves caught and force them to stumble. So, two heads, one like wraps over and then like it forces the body to just tumble. Little details like those go a long way, and like the strategy of a character like Clay, who, you know, there's these like 3 goblins, 2 machos, and then like a, you know, a wizard goblin of some sort, from the ceiling propels herself, cuts the head off, decapitates hands, and I'm like, okay, this show isn't edgy. It's not like overly gory, like, damn, I gotta look away. That's like, so, but you have to admit, when you look at this art direction, you're not expecting to see blood, or at least I'm not. And just as we're going through it, you hear that like, oh, people usually make it to like floor 6 or 7, and I'm thinking, okay, this must be a small-ass dungeon. Turns out it is a small-ass dungeon, as the 10th floor is the boss, which is, of course, the person who's running the whole show. But I love the idea that it's so simple, but usually it's like if you do get that kind of like, okay, we're prepared, like just look at the newest episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as the Slime as an example. They're currently building a dungeon of 100 floors, right? Usually that's like once it's built, it's kind of done, you move on with your life, you watch people clear it. It seems like this could be a show that's actually more relevant on the like, hey, we're going to constantly try to make new rooms, new monsters, okay. People liked floor 4 a lot, but maybe they weren't vibing with floor 5, so we're going to try something different. It's such a weird idea, but it works so well. And honestly, when I initially saw Clay's character design, both in the poster and also just with a little few glimpses of some animation I saw in trailers, I was under the impression Clay was going to be this kind of like very cutesy, adorable, overly like cute character. But right away, pretty serious, and I kind of like the meme energy that I can already get across from her, where she's just constantly like, oh, bruh, I didn't sign up for this, but here I am. It's just, you can tell it's like that vibe of, I don't want to be here, but I can't say I can't be here. I mean, the deal was made. Hey, if I win, I'm going to fight, well, I'm going to get the W, probably get some answers on what happened to my dad. If you win, I'll work for you. Though working for her doesn't seem like the worst idea, because you're getting paid, I guess, 5 gold a day, which apparently, based on the reaction, is a lot of money. But overall, it's just like, I walked into this episode thinking, we need more dungeon anime. We need more dungeon crawlers. We need more shows, because not only do I have to wait for season 2 of Delicious in Dungeon, it's just, I feel like dungeons are underutilized. Like, sure, sometimes you get certain bigger shows like a Danmachi or something like that, but it's not as common as just like straight up isekais and stuff. And I think they have just as much potential for fan bases. And to just quickly the first half be like, okay, this was not what I was expecting. I was expecting legit. I walked in with the expectation it was going to be a very chill slice of life, kind of walking through a dungeon, maybe seeing some shit from time to time. And they actually impressed me visually with the production, the monster animation, the fight animation. It was actually way more intense than I was given credit for. And the MC wasn't what I was expecting at face value. Introduced literally the fourth wall breaking moment where things just weren't as they seem, and just that Minotaur trying to play off like, no, I only mood around this character, I swear, but like, no, yeah, they completely know, cat's out of the bag. And now we got hired to manage a dungeon. Like, this is such a cool idea for a show, and I heard no buzz about this. Now, it is a web manga, I believe, so maybe that plays a bit of a factor, but I'm surprised more people weren't hyping the show up. If it does have a fan base that's at least active in the English-speaking side of the community, I'm surprised more people weren't talking about this one, because legitimately, this seems like it could be one of the most interesting and fresh shows of the season. I'm kind of mad we don't have more episodes for me to watch, because this was just like, it felt perfect. It was such a cute, unique art style. Honestly, the last time I've been kind of like wowed with an art direction was honestly Ranking of Kings from Wit Studio, just such a different type of style for that. Same thing here, just such a simplistic but just creative, almost storybook-like color palette. This is good! And I'm sure there's going to be those people, oh, it's nothing like Delicious in Dungeon, why even make the comparison? Listen, Delicious in Dungeon is not only one of my favorite anime that's come out this year, I legitimately think it's one of the most unique shows I've seen. But yeah, this show for me is filling the void that show left. I don't expect it to be nearly as good, but I can give it credit. Both of those shows, very unique idea for a dungeon crawler. The character interactions, very, very amusing and fun from what I'm seeing. Honestly, you could take Clay and she would fit in with the Delicious and Dungeon cast, if I'm being honest. I'm here for this one. I don't know if this one will be popular. I don't know if people will care too much, but if you want something that looks unique, feels unique, and actually, like, just the constant, managing a dungeon sounds very fun, especially with the characters we have so far. The fact that the monsters can clearly talk as well, I think we're in for a great ride. But let me know what you're feeling down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Cedric Bergens, Day Fox, Rene Valrieux, Bill Canada, Albion, Katrin, and KXAR. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and I guess you never know what's behind your walls, so maybe give a little tap, because you never know what type of monsters or peeping toms could be behind there. But I guess all things considered, that was actually pretty nice. It could have been worse. We could have found dead bodies there, a creepy, horrible bitch, but no, instead we found someone who's actually pretty nice, though she did give me some psycho energies a couple of times, so I guess don't get on her bad side. Have a good one.